What's going on, everybody? How we doing? Happy Saturday. Hopefully everybody's having a good start to their week. Well, I should say good start to their weekend, I should say. Shout out to everybody already in the building. 22 people in the building. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. We're gonna vibe a little bit until the Giants fans start showing up. But shout out, I'm gonna do a quick roll call. Shout out to my son with the beat in the background. Shout out to my man Joseph Wilcox. What's going on? How you doing? How the grandkids doing? My man Thunder. What's going on? Turn this down. Introduction. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. We got some things to talk about. Another game without Jackson Dart. How we feeling about that? We got some things to talk about for sure. Let's see here. Luann said, my big brother in the building said, little bro, let's go. That's a fact. My man Coach D in the building as well. How you doing, Coach D? E Bands is in the building. My man Quiz. What's going on, Quiz? Too Swift. Shout out to the 973 in the building. Shout out to Jersey. Kenya in the building as well. Said, what's up, Dash? What's going on, Kenya? My man Jesse in the building said, yo, what's going on? My man Big Moo in the building said, we're going to tame the Lions tomorrow. I hope so, man. I really do hope so. Brandon J in the building said, what's going on, man? How we doing, man? What was it? Will Collectors Lounge. Say, yo, what's good, everyone? Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody showing love and support. Shout out to the New York Giants fans in the building. Shout out to the New York Giants fans that are not in the building. Shout out to the New York Giants content creator community. Shout out to everybody. It's all love when it comes to me. You already know that, man. Shout out to Sean Clowney for becoming a new member. Welcome to the Big Blue Nation. Shout out to you and then everybody. Welcome to Late Night Giants Talk, man. It is what it is. So we're going to start off quick, man. Any boxing fans in the building? It's some fantastic boxing matches happening as we speak. I'm a big boxing fan for those that don't know. But it's not about boxing right now. It's about the New York Giants and Late Night Giants Talk, and it's about you guys. Shout out to the 201 in the building. My man Mosley 2.0 said Big Jersey. That's a fact. E-Bands also said Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. Jersey in the building, man. Shout out to my home state, man. Joseph said, I wanted to see Dart against a good defense. I did too. Unfortunately, he didn't pass protocol, which I thought it was kind of interesting that he didn't pass protocol, because all week we heard about was how good he was doing, how he was progressing throughout, through protocol. Then all of a sudden Friday gets here and they want to hold him back. I think it's a little bit fishy. Some people, they want to, side on want to be caution. Yeah, side on every caution, whatever. They want to side. With caution. I mean, I can see that. I understand that. I think if he was good to go, he would be playing. But some people feel otherwise. Some people want to hold him out for the rest of the season. I don't want to do that. My man Joe said, rest up, young Jackson Dart. Yeah, rest up. We definitely going to need him, man. We're going to need him. Hopefully we can get him against the Patriots, man. I would love to see a matchup between Drake May and Jackson Dart, man. I would love to see that. Luann, we're going to talk about some things. Eric Gray is actually a topic today, surprisingly. He is a topic. Brian Howard, what's going on, B? How we doing, man? How you doing, man? Shout out to Brian, man. Papillion says Jersey 201. That's what's up. Shout out to Jersey. Is it Papa Shike? I think that's how you say it, Papa Shike or Papa Shikey. 1134 says Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Nah, that's a fact, man. The Big Moose says, I appreciate all my content creators for sticking through these tough times and providing us with a place to vent. Now, that's what it's all about, man. That's what this channel is about. That's what these lives are about. You see how I do it, man. I'm always in the chat when I do these live streams, man. I let you guys, voice your frustrations. If you're happy, share in the joy and do things like that, man. That's what this channel is about. Late Night Giants Talk is about us talking about the New York Giants for sure. Shout out to Will Collector becoming a new member, man. Welcome to the Big Blue Nation. I appreciate the love and support. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. JJ the King says, I forgot about Eric Gray. Everybody forgot about Eric Gray. Some people didn't even know he was still on the injured reserve or the PUP list. Some people thought he was cut. Nah, he been sneaking around. Isaac Moore says free Turbo. Turbo's not getting a chance. You see it. He's not getting a chance, and you see it. It's pretty much over for him. If he wanna stay on the practice squad this year, maybe next year, and collect on that paycheck, it's a nice paycheck that you get on the practice squad. They make a good amount of money as far as in comparison to us regular people. They make a good amount of money on that practice squad. They're not making what what the 53 is making, but they make it enough for sure. For sure. Shout out to my man Jay Ferris with the $5 super chat.
I need a dollar is what I need.
Joe Ferris says Black Friday is going to take a new meaning. All the strong black men going to be unleashed for us. Drop the super chat, guys. Hold on, what do you mean by that? Black Friday is going to take on a new meaning. All the strong black men gonna unleash for us. Drop the super chat, guys. Nah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the love and support as always, Jay. Jay Ferris. But yeah, man, appreciate you. Quiz says pulses need to be shut on IR. It seems like he's not getting healthy. Oh yeah, it's. I think it's over for him. I think it's over for him. But I'm gonna get to this first question, man. Before you guys to the comment section's going already. Shout out to everybody that's in here already. Shout out to the 45 people. Make sure you hit that like button. It'll let the algorithm know that we in the building. And also, let me know if the audio's good. Let me know if the visual's good. I checked my levels before I got in here. The Wi-Fi seemed like it was strong and all that. So we should be good, hopefully. Hopefully. It was thunderstorming out here a little bit today. But we should be good. All right. Let's see. All right. So, yeah. The first subject, we already started to talk about it. Jackson Dart out again. How do you feel about it? How do I feel about it? Personally, I thought he was going to play. I wanted him to play because I wanted to see him against a good defense. I also wanted to see him with Isaiah Hodgins. Obviously, Isaiah Hodgins is not going anywhere, so we're going to get a chance to see him. But I really thought he was trending in the right direction. We saw practice videos. He was dancing in practice. He was doing non-contact stuff in practice, but he was moving around. He was acting like Jackson Dart. So when we got that news Friday evening or Friday afternoon, it kind of surprised me, but I'm really not surprised with the choice that they made. And guess what? You got a coach that cares about his players, doesn't want to put him in harm's way, and I can respect that. So shout out to Kafka for that. Let's see what you guys are saying about that though. Because I'm curious. Thank you for letting me know the audio was good, video was good. Thank you. What's going on, Tyrone? How you doing, man? We gonna talk about some other. Joseph says Carter's a young blood. He apologized. Now let's see if he can show up or show out on Sunday. Listen, man, we've been waiting for Carter, man. At this point, I'm just when it happens, it happens. People are arguing about it. For me, they talk about the pressures. He's top 3 in pressures for the entire league. So I'm like, that's pretty good. I would love for him to get more sacks than just pressures, man. But you can't be greedy. That's what they keep telling me. I can't be greedy. They told me he was generational. I still think he's an enormous talent. Pause. I just can't wait to see it on the field. Like I said, we're getting the pressures. We're seeing them getting there. We're seeing them getting there. And I'm just waiting for that breakout game. I will say this though too, man, because the Giants do play Detroit tomorrow. Obviously, they're in Detroit right now. They should be in their hotel rooms getting rest, getting rest for the game tomorrow. Hopefully somebody's tuned in. Hopefully somebody's tuned in from the team. Somebody got to be listening, man. Somebody got to be listening. All right, so Mega Giants 89 says Big Dash knows. He said thoughts on Dane Belton. As far as what though? Re-signing him? I think Nubin is questionable tomorrow, so you might see Belton start again. Listen, man. When it comes to players being re-signed from that 2022 class, Dane Belton is one person that I would re-sign, but he's a little bit lower on the totem pole as far as what I'm thinking. First off, I think the number one priority is Jermaine Illuminor. You got to get Jermaine Illuminor extended. I think that's the number one priority when it comes to free agency as far as the guys that are currently on the roster. After that, I'm thinking Cordell Flott. I'm thinking Micah McFadden. I'm thinking Daniel Bellinger. And then I'm probably thinking about Dane Belton, man. You guys let me know the order, man, because, again, we got a lot of guys that are coming up on some contracts from that 2022 class. Wan'Dale Robinson is another one, and he's higher on that list too. It's a lot of guys that they got to re-sign. So when it comes to Dane Belton, I like Dane Belton as a backup. He can step in a pinch. But whenever we need to depend on him as a starter, you don't see that same play. When he comes in as a reserve role, that's when he's getting those interceptions. That's when he's coming up with the good tackles and forcing some fumbles. That's what we see from Dane Belton in the reserve role. But when he's the starter, we see why he's a role player and a guy that's coming off of the bench. Every time we need to depend on him, it don't look the same. It ain't that same impact as him coming off the bench as a six man in football, though. Shout out to Mike Fanta in the building. Said, "Hey, Big Dad, what's going on, man?" Isaac Moore got a nickname for Abdul Carter, called him Almost Carter. That's funny. That's funny. Almost Carter is crazy. But to get to the news that you guys mentioned about Abdul Carter apologizing, obviously they had the report that went out that he had some issues because he got benched at the beginning of the game. The first series he sat out the first series last week, defensive series last week. It was because he supposedly missed the meeting, or he fell asleep in the meeting. He actually had a little bit of pushback against Dan Duggan, the guy that reported it, and said he wasn't asleep. And then it came out that he was actually with the trainers getting some rehab done, and that he wasn't asleep, and he didn't just miss the meeting. So who knows? Who knows now? Now you can easily go tell the trainer, "Hey, can you cover for me and put this report out?" And you can do that. Or he actually really missed these meetings. Now we already know there was some rumors at Penn State about certain behavior and things he was getting away with and stuff like that. But when it comes to the pros, man, it is what it is. But shout out to the Giants for actually showing some accountability, actually showing that there's some consequences if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm pretty sure if they said that to him and the trainer was there to vouch for him, it would have been squashed. It wouldn't even been a report. He probably wouldn't even have missed that first series. So that's what makes me believe that something possibly happened for real. But I mean, again, it is what it is. JJ the King says, "I'm with you, Dash. Although I would like to see him against the Lions, but we need him to finish healing up." Yeah, he got to stay healthy, man. He's been in the tent how many times this year? 4 times already, and then he finally got in concussion protocol. It's certain things that you got to think about. Now, I want to see him play because I want to see how Mike Kafka handles him. That's what I want to see. I want to see if Mike Kafka runs with Jackson Dart as much as we saw, Brian Dable run with Jackson Dart. And people say, well, Mike Kafka was the one calling the plays this whole time. Yes, he's the one calling the plays, but also he has to listen to what the head coach wants. So if he says we need Dart to use his legs, then he finds a play for Dart to use his legs. That's what the head coach is asking for. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying we know what Brian Dable is. We saw it in Buffalo with Josh Allen and how much he ran the ball. You see Josh Allen now running the ball. Maybe not as much as he used to, but he still tucks it and goes. But I'm curious to see. I can't wait to see how Jackson Dart looks under Mike Kafka, period. Not Brian Dable and Mike Kafka. I'm curious to see what it looks like. Coach D says, and this is a fact, he says pressures are not a league stat. That's a fact. That's for the analytic team. That's shout out to my man Cop Pizzle. That's for the geeks and the nerds, man. Holding on to those stats. Shout out to Cop Pizzle, man. I got to get Cop Pizzle on here, man. Joseph Wilcox says they want to showcase Dart again on national televised game Monday night at the Pats. Man, yeah. Listen, you know what's crazy? I forgot we still had another primetime game. Which is crazy, right? Because I do have a New England Patriots fan coming on the War Room on Wednesday. Shout out to my man Ken's Patch Talk over there at his channel. But I'm sitting here like, man, I forgot we had a Monday night game. And usually I don't like the primetime games because we always look bad in the primetime games. But the last time we were primetime, we beat the Eagles. Maybe we can beat the Pats. But we got to deal with Detroit first. So with that being said, I'm going to get to my second talking point. What is your confidence? We saw Jameis Winston, last week we saw what he did. Almost threw 4 interceptions. Only ended up getting throwing 1 interception. But here we are with the Detroit Lions. How do we feel about Jameis Winston starting against the Lions for a second game? Let me know what you guys think about that, man. Let me know what you guys think about that. We talking about, you got draft talk already. Shout out to my man Seth too, man. He says, I need Downs or Reese. Well, you won't. You think the New York Giants take a safety that early? You think that happens? I think we need to trade back, man, but try to stay into the top in the top 10 if we can do that. That's what I would like to do. Trade back. Pick up some extra picks. Maybe pick up an extra first round for 2027. That's what I would like to do. But it's hard to pass up on Caleb Downs and Arvell Reese. I understand that. Now, here's my question, though, because the rumors right now is they want to see Arvell Reese as an edge at the next level. Obviously, he's a middle linebacker now, but they're projecting him as an edge. If you were to go ahead and get Arvell Reese, where the hell do you play Arvell Reese? Where do you play him? Where do you play him at? If they want him to be an edge, and he wants to be an edge, you already got Brian Burns. You're struggling getting Abdul Carter on the field. Kayvon Thibodeau right now is going to be on the squad. I don't see why not. How do you fit an Arvell Reese on? How do you get him snaps unless you keep him at off-ball linebacker? But like people told me last year, you can't draft an off-ball linebacker that high. So what we talking about, man? I know we're getting off track though, man. I did have a question about Jameis Winston, but we can talk about these draft picks a little bit. JDJ says, don't ask Bowen where to play Reach. Bowen won't be here. That's the good thing. Sorry if you're listening, Coach Shane Bowen. I'm sorry if you're listening. I'm not expecting Bowen to be here making any kind of defensive decisions in 2026. I don't think that happens at all. At all. Shout out to, is it Kwar Sadiq? I think. Yeah, I think I got it right. He says, actually, that's a different name, man, because I recognize the profile picture. He says, only a lousy GM like Joe Shane will resign any player from, resign any player from the 22 or 23 draft classes. The production could easily be replaced by day 2 or 3 picks. Now, it's the problem, though. He should have did that already. The replacement should have already been in the building. So now we're between a rock and a hard place when it comes to these to this offseason. You got to sign some of these guys back. You got to spend more money than you would have spent because you don't have the depth on the roster. You don't have it because you picked poorly. Maybe you coached poorly too. Maybe some of these guys could have developed under, better coaching. But at the end of the day, some of these guys are playing well. Some of these guys aren't. Actually, let me go ahead and put the comments up so you guys can see them too. Shout out to my man Born for Sports in the building. Says deactivate Shane's key card. Yo, hey, Jorge, man. What about the burner on Twitter? There's a burner account. I believe it's Jason Smith XL something, right? A lot of people believe that it's Joe Shane's son's page. He has an alias page, a burner account, because he's on there defending whoever this person is. Whoever this person is defending the hell out of Joe Shane. Defending the hell out of Joe Shane. And it was funny too because a tweet went out on Carson Shane's page that said Joe Shane is not the problem, and it got deleted. And we saw that same exact tweet, all caps, under that Jason Smith's profile as well. And then they tried to erase that too. And so listen, man, somebody whose last name is Shane is running that account. That's my deal. Shout out to my man Joseph Wilcox. Says, I like Jameis. Nobody gets him off his game. I love his confidence, positivity. Reporters asking him the same questions over and over. He still does not get rattled. He just loves the game, man. Yeah. You can feel the energy from Jameis Winston, man. I'm actually glad that we got him for another year after this. He's going to be good to have in the locker room. Obviously, when Russell Wilson is no longer here, in 2026, it's good to have that veteran quarterback presence, in the locker room with Jameis Winston. So shout out to Jameis Winston. Shout out for him doing this thing. I'm hoping he can pull something off tomorrow, man. I don't know if it's probable. It's always possible, but we'll see what happens. Shout out to my man Puma J. What's going on, Puma J? He says, Dash, is it not weird that Dable has not said anything so far? It has to be the dysfunctional. It has to be that dysfunction. I'm sorry, in the building. Now, listen. By this time, even with fired coaches, no matter how they left the building, they always said something. They always addressed the fans. They always addressed the organization. You have not seen a comment from Brian Dable at all. So that tells me that the man is super salty right now. The man's his feelings are hurt, and he's super salty right now. And I kind of find it kind of disrespectful, even me, I was talking crazy trash. I was talking crazy trash about Brian Dable wanting him out of here, rightfully so. I think he deserved to leave. Obviously, there's a human element to this. But everybody you've seen leave the New York Giants or leave any kind of organization, they always wrote a letter to the city, a letter to the organization. They had some type of public, reaction, announcement, or just thanks to the city, thanks to the fans. We have not seen that from Brian Dable. Now, the other thing is this. Does it surprise you that you haven't seen anything from Brian Dable? It doesn't surprise me either. I thought it's crazy too. But it just shows you the type of person that we're dealing with. Obviously, nobody wants to get fired. It does not feel good. Pause. But again, you had a chance. You had almost 4 seasons to turn this thing around, and you didn't do it. So it is what it is. I get no hard feelings. Of course, it is what it is now. But it is what it is. My man Born for Sports says, I see that account. It's either Joe Shane's son or Pat Hanlon. I bet the house on that. That's funny if it's Pat Hanlon. I would have thought it was Pat Hanlon until I saw that Carson Shane tweet, that was the exact same as Jason Smith, and then he deleted it. Pat Hanlon would have been, let me tell you, man, listen, I'm gonna keep this opinion to myself about Pat Hanlon. I'm going to leave that alone. Who knows what can happen in the future. Shout out to my man Joseph Wilcox with the $5 super chat. He says, I think the Giants are going to pull off the upset. What do they have to lose? Just leave it all on the field like Winston. The New York Giants can score enough points to win a game. We just can't stop teams from scoring, more than us. That's what it is. Just think about all these other years where the New York Giants were averaging 17 points, 16 points, 13 points a game. Now we're averaging somewhere, above 20 points a game. And if your defense just showed up, or the Shane Bowen's favorite word, finish. If we can just finish, maybe we would have a couple more wins. Actually, not even maybe, we would have a couple more wins. But we can't stop teams from scoring on us. Period. We can't do it. Shout out to Big Bull 3. Says, what up, Dash? At work, but got my headphones in. Salute to you, man. Don't let the stream get you fired, though, man. Make sure you're taking care of business. This is an upset game for Detroit, man. I wish it was a trap game. I wish it was a trap game. I do want to bring up another point. We got some people that they brought up as far as being elevated on the team. You got Eric Gray, activated off of the PUP list. He's a part of the 53. He's going to be on the field tomorrow. He might not get a jersey. He might be a healthy scratch, depending on what's going on. But also, you had Swayze Bozeman got elevated from the practice squad. Dalen Cambry got elevated from the practice squad. You saw him do a couple of good things on special teams last week. But the interesting thing was this. Thomas Fedoni, who I've been waiting to see all year, he gets put on IR. So he's out for 4 weeks. And this is the thing that pisses me off, right? You got Daniel Bellinger in a contract year, right? You got Manhurts, who's also in a contract year. You're probably not going to bring him back. So all we got is Theo Johnson, Daniel Bellinger, who you might sign or you might not sign, and then you got Thomas Fedoni, and nobody has seen this guy play yet in the regular season. We don't have a clue what he's going to be able to do. So you know what's going to happen? The New York Giants might go into this draft and draft another tight end. Meanwhile, they got another one on the roster that you pretty much don't know what he is yet. And that's the part that pisses me off, because you always drafting over your draft picks before you even get a chance to see these guys. Daniel Bellinger had an outstanding rookie year. Actually, outstanding strong. He had a solid rookie year. His second year, we picked up Darren Waller. We put him on the back burner. After that, we drafted Theo Johnson and totally forgot about him. This year, he had a resurgence. And we saw that, maybe Daniel Bellinger actually is pretty good if we just give him the ball or throw him the ball. But nope. We're sitting here still waiting to see who's who and what's what. Hirsch for real says Giants let Dosage go. Yep, they let him go. He went right to Miami, and you saw him playing. He actually caught a couple passes in the primetime game. 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago. Darren Waller got put on IR, so we might not even get that extra draft pick because I believe that draft pick we were supposed to get for Darren Waller, he had to play a certain amount of games in order for us to get that pick. And the man got put on IR, so we might not even get that extra pick in the 6th, which is crazy to me. Luann, shout out to Luann. She says John Mara and Tisch need to have patience. When Wellington was alive, he didn't change coaches often. Jim Fossil was there for. Jim Fossil wasn't there 12 years. He was not there 12 years. He said I believe Tom Coughlin also about 12 years. Nah, that's not true. And both went to the Super Bowl. We got Tom Coughlin in 2004. I think we got Tom Coughlin the same year we got Eli, if I'm not mistaken. And then Tom Coughlin was gone in 16. So, no, you're absolutely right. I was wrong. 12 years. That's 12 years. It didn't feel like 12 years, but you're absolutely right. 12 years. Now, Jim Fossil. When did we get Jim Fossil? Somebody let me know when we got Jim Fossil. Was that 12 years? Damn. You know better than me, Luann. There you go. Luann knows. Big Dash don't know. Luann knows. Shout out to my man Mark Thompson. He says, since you missed me earlier, I'm going to wish you in the chat good night again. My bad, Mark. I actually did see that. Didn't get a chance to click on it though. Again, man, shout out to you. Hopefully everything is good with you out there in Barbados. You're enjoying, your ocean view and all that. But good night to you, sir. See you tomorrow. Have a good night's rest, and hopefully the New York Giants can win. Actually, give me your prediction before you go, Mark. Let me get a quick prediction for the game, and then you can be on your merry way. If you're not going already, you might be going already though. Shout out to my man, is it McCannon? He says, shaking my head, poor general manager. Ain't nobody worried about that general manager, man. These guys had years. Hold on a second. These guys had years for sure. All right, shout out to my man Jorge Hernandez says, what up, Dash? Brian Flores could be our Tomlin. Shaking my head. See, I think you already know how I feel about Brian Flores, man. You know how I feel about Brian Flores. That is the perfect scenario for me, is to get Brian Flores, you right or wrong, and you get him on this roster, you have him fix the defense. That's what I want the most. That's what I want to happen the most, but I don't think it's going to happen with the whole lawsuit thing and the complaints and all the stuff that's going on between Brian Flores, the NFL, and also the New York Giants. But Brian Flores is number one on my list. I was a Brian Flores guy before we got Brian Dable. I got the tweets to prove that, so many years ago too. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Shout out to my man Phil. Phil with the $5 super chat says, we need the Texans DC. He's aggressive. 8 sacks Thursday night. Tired of these fools driving at will. That's a fact. Matt Burke, go check him out. I'll go check out Matt Burke, man. I know that Texas, you figure the Texans got the number one defense right now. And I really didn't even know that until they said it before the game. Like, I knew they had a good defense. I didn't know they were the number one ranked defense. That's crazy, especially when you're 4-5 at the time. Now they're 5-5. But you saw it, man. They got some players, and they were missing their starting safety Petrie. And you know what? They did what they needed to do. And you saw the Buffalo Bills look regular, super regular. And you saw Josh Allen look regular too. So shout out. That's what a good defense can do, man. And the crazy thing about it is, before this year started, man, when you talked about this roster on paper, you look at the Texans roster on defense, especially when it came to the front, they got some guys there. But a lot of people still believe that the New York Giants have one of the best fronts going into this season, and it didn't come to fruition. It didn't. Shout out to the 106 people in the building. Again, make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, my bad, Mark. Mark says, nah, man. He says, I just came into the chat. Good night was my way of saying hello. Okay, my bad. I thought you were saying good night. You were going to bed. I appreciate that. I still well, we'll save that prediction for later. Luann says, Dash, why we playing the Patriots and not the whole division? We play that division every 4 years, so I'm wondering if this is something new. No, what happened was I believe we didn't play we played the AFC East last year, the whole AFC East last year. So what happens is this you always play your own division, 2 games, and then you play 2 other divisions, and then you play 2 more games, and whatever that division is, whoever finished in the same spot. So the Patriots must have finished 4th last year because we finished 4th, and that's why we ended up playing the Patriots, because they were number 4 last year in their division. We were number 4 in our division last year, and that's why we ended up playing the Patriots. Yeah, and it was that, and I believe it was I think it's the only other game like that was the Saints game, because we didn't play anybody else in the NFC South, so the Saints were going to be the same issue then. Get Downs and Tate. I want Tate, man. I want Cornell Tate. I need to get Malik Neighbors a sidekick for sure. I really do need that. We got Fossil in 97 to 2003. Okay, yeah. But Luann was spot on with Coughlin. But yeah, not so much when it came to Fossil, man. Shout out to Fossil. R.I.P. to Jim Fossil. I saw a clip today on Twitter. It was like it marked the anniversary of him guaranteeing the New York Giants to go to the playoffs. Yeah. Shout out to Fossil. Erline, what's going on, Erline? He says Dart needs a solid tight end. If Theo was a baller, he'd be a top 10 tight end. That's a fact. Based on the chances Dart puts in his hands. You know how many targets Theo Johnson has? A lot. Especially in comparison with Daniel Bellinger has. A lot. And Daniel Bellinger got almost the same amount of yards as him with like 20 less targets. Like, I'm not going to listen. I don't want to jump. I just don't want to jump on Theo Johnson because I can see the potential. I still believe he has issues catching the ball. Even the balls that he catches, he double catches them. I don't know if people notice that. That's the kind of things that I notice. He's always bobbling something. Pause. That's crazy. But he always double catches. And it kind of pisses me off that he's double catching that much. Now, when he's able to pull it down, fine. No harm, no foul. But he got issues with his hands, man. I would have him on the jugs machine after practice every game. And I mean every day. And I don't know if that's something that he does. Probably. He's a paid professional. He knows what he needs to do. But he got issues double catching, man. And it's even last week, the first pass that he caught was a double catch. The week prior to that, the Chicago Bears game, when he got the touchdown, he double caught that before he got into the end zone. It's crazy. Like almost every time a ball hit him in the hand, it's a double catch. And you're a paid professional. Your job is to catch the ball and block. Let's see, we got Mark Thompson says Dash, the Lions are great at what we're bad at. Now that's a fact. I'm seeing a beat down by the Lions. I have no faith in the defense. That's again, that's crazy, and that's why Shane Bowen should be gone. And we saw the same thing last week. That's what I wanted to talk about. I was going to talk about this a little bit later, but I'm going to talk about it now. I'm going to jump ahead because I'm pretty sure everybody here saw the presser. They saw the presser Thursday night Thursday afternoon from practice when they had all the coordinators. And Shane Bowen just said the same things that he's been saying all season long. Got to get better. Got to put guys in better position. You got to do this. I don't want to hear how much you got to do. Just do it. But I don't think he can. And it's to the point now when just me seeing his face pisses me off. Just seeing shit. I saw the clip before I watched the video. I saw the clip on Twitter. The volume wasn't even on. I didn't even click the volume button. Now I felt myself getting pissed off already. Just the sight of this guy pisses me off. And I hate that I feel that way. Because I don't want to feel that way when I see somebody. But Shane Bowen turns my stomach. He really does. Respectfully, disrespectfully, is bad. Is absolutely bad. But I want to get to this injury report too. So again, we know Eric Gray is coming back. I'm curious to see if he actually plays. Thomas Fidone is on the IR. We got no Pulse in the Debo. We got no Tibbs. Right now they're saying no Tibbs. He's out. And then you got Deontay Banks, who's questionable. You got Tyler Nubin, that's questionable. So I'm sitting here like, okay, so now we got to go back with Andrew Phillips. Cordell Flott obviously is going to be playing, and then you might have Tay Banks. So that means you're going to see Corey Black. You're probably going to see what's his name, Nick Jones. And I'm just sitting here like it just keeps getting worse and worse. But Nick Jones stepped up, made a couple of plays last week. Andrew Phillips got benched too, which was crazy to me, but it happened. And we talked about that certain weaknesses that Andrew Phillips has. But what do you do now? Because that's the 2024 class that a lot of us raved about. Joe Shane definitely raved about Drew Phillips and Tyler Nubin at the end of last season. Then you fired their coach, the guy that was developing them and had them looking the way that they were supposed to be looking. And then now you look at them this year, and both of them look like they regressed. So you made Jerome Henderson the fall guy last year. You hired somebody new who I'm a fan of, but you're not getting the same production out of Tyler Nubin or Andrew Phillips. And that part makes me mad as well. So we can't make any of the right decisions, with this organization. It's crazy to me. Let's see what we got here. Luann says, I like Bellinger a lot. Isaac, yeah, that's Fossil guaranteed it. This team is going to the playoffs. We are going to the playoffs. That's what he said. He guaranteed it. I guarantee it. This team is going to the playoffs. That's what he said. Today was the anniversary of that. What, 25 years ago? But that was 2000. Mega Giants 89 says, Big Dash, thoughts on Cam Scatterboo's prediction for the Giants next year with the 12-5 record. That's what he said. I missed that. I didn't see that. I'm all for it, man. Listen, man. Once you have what you believe to be a franchise quarterback, that opens up your Super Bowl window. You just got to build the pieces around it. If he feels like the New York Giants can go 12-5, I love it. Will it happen? We'll see. We got a lot of things need to take place before the New York Giants end up being 12-5. A lot of things. Different coaches, some being able to stop the run, getting better secondary in here, better linebackers. We gotta address a lot of things before this team is 12-5. We gotta learn how to finish. I think for the offense, man, you add Malik Neighbors back, you get whatever other wide receiver you're getting. The Giants shouldn't have an issue at all scoring points next year. That's not going to be a problem at all. Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it. We're talking a year from now, or 8 months now from now before the next season starts. But yeah, nine months from now. But there's I don't want to say that the offense is not going to be a problem at all, because you do have some offensive linemen that are leaving and some guys that you possibly need to re-sign, replace. But when it comes to the quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, if we sign Daniel Bellinger back, I think we have all that we need. Add another running back too to score these points, because right now we're still averaging over 20 points with the third, fourth, and fifth wide receiver and the second and third running back. Shout out to Tyrone Tracy, respectfully. Devin Singletary, both of those guys had great games last week. Tyrone Hall says Fossil threw Sean Payton under the bus. Kind of did. He did throw his OC under the bus. That's for sure. E-Band says, yeah, Theo pisses me off. I like Belly more. Listen, man, and it's crazy too, because I was operating off faith. When I was saying all those things about Daniel Bellinger, obviously I saw his rookie year. I really felt it. I really felt like he was the better tight end. Now, he still has not been the starter, not once this season. But you see, he still can produce if you actually target him. But Daniel Bellinger, to me, he's always been a tight end one to me. That's just my opinion. There you go. Shout out to my man Tudor with the $4.99 super chat. He says, respects to Big Dash and all the diehard Giant fans across the pond. Greetings from our entire rugby club, currently back in Italy and breaking men to make a living, mate. Did y'all win last week, man? You guys were in South Africa last week, right? South Africa, I think is what you said. How was it last week, man? Let me know. And you ain't got to put it in the super chat. Just put it in the regular chat. Let me know how you guys did out there in South Africa last week. I think it was South Africa you said, right? I might be off a week. Let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I did want to talk about this. I got to ask a question to everybody, right? I got to ask a question because a report came up I don't have this written in my notes. It just popped in my head, so I do want to ask you guys about it. There's rumors of Keon Coleman possibly on his way out with the Buffalo Bills. If you guys don't know who Keon Coleman is, he's a wide receiver that they drafted, I believe, at the top of the second round, or either late in the first round, the same year Malik Neighbors came out. And then also we heard news that the San Francisco 49ers and Brandon Ayuk, they might be heading towards a divorce. Now, for me, I like Keon Coleman. 6'4", 215 pounds. Is he the best route runner? No, but he has made plays in the league. He's been a healthy scratch because he's having some behavioral issues, some disciplinary issues with the Bills. So they sat him. They made him a healthy scratch for 2 weeks in a row. And that's crazy, too, because when you think about it, the Buffalo Bills, especially the fans this week, all they've been crying about is Josh Allen not having enough weapons. When a week prior, he had 6 total touchdowns. But then this week, he don't got enough weapons. So, I digress with that. But here's this guy that could possibly be on the move. And if they waive him, the New York Giants are third on the waiver wire. I'm picking up Keon Coleman and not even thinking about it. It's going to be cheap. And then you have the rest of the season to see what he can actually be. And then you have another guy to bring into the 90-man roster. You go through the spring, you go through the summer, go through the preseason with him, and then you can decide whether or not you want to keep him or not. But I just think he is too talented to give up on, even though the Buffalo Bills are giving up on him. But I think for us, especially with the guys that we pick up and the guys that we have on our practice squad and stuff like that, I'm giving Keon Coleman a chance. So you guys let me know about that. I see Tudo getting a lot of love in the chat. Shout out to Tudo, man. Always. Tyrone Hall, he said, is Keon a head case, though? He seems to be. But there's nothing more humbling than somebody kicking you off the team. And I will say this. He seems to me like he was brought up right. You saw him when he had his conversations and stuff like that. Some people say he seems to be a little distracted. But again, we're talking about picking him up off waivers and seeing if he can help this team. And if he can't help this team, we've given people less talented, chances. And I think he's talented. I think he can add some juice to the wide receiver room. Definitely at the end of this season. But especially moving into the summer, why not? 90-man roster, why not? Give him a shot. Young guy too, man. Isaac Moore says Ayuk is a headache. My man Born for Sports says I'd rather have Ayuk. Coleman as a 50-50 receiver who can't separate and not a good route runner. He's not the best route runner. He is absolutely a 50-50 possession wide receiver. That's what he is. Some of the catches though that he caught, he can give you some big plays. Put it that way. I'm not saying to get him as a 1 or a 2, but if he's your 3, if he's your 4, better than what we got right now, in my opinion. Obviously, we're talking about the healthy players, people that are available right now. Let's see. Tudo says, Big Dash, in South Africa, we had an international match, but we're back in homeland in Rugby Union League, and we just had a massive W earlier today. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the team on your victory today. Shout out to you. As always, shout out to you. Joseph says we need a D-back Cowboys cut. Yeah, I saw that today too. From a first round pick. He was actually picked up by the Bills, and then Dallas traded for him, I think, this year. And then he got cut. Again, I haven't seen any news as far as I think it has to be a day before you see who was awarded who. So tomorrow we'll find out, where if Kyer Elam was picked up off of waivers, we'll find out either tomorrow or Monday what team got him. But he was he was waived today. And I believe it takes about 24 hours to see where those guys go because people got to put in the claims. Teams got to put in the claims, and then you see after that Kyer Elam. When I just look at my cornerback room, again, it's a why not. You got a guy that coming out of college was talented. It didn't work out with the Bills. Seems like it didn't work out with the Cowboys. But again, right now, where the Giants are right now, you could try players out. It's not like we're contending right now. We're trying to see what the future of the New York Giants are going to be, not the right now. Born for Sports says definitely better than what we have. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, right? Just to say that out loud, with all of these draft picks and all of these free agency periods, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. Mike Fonte says, I'm so excited for the 2026 NFL draft just because there are going to be some big changes around New York football Giants. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping for the complete cleaning of the house. I expect it. But the other thing is, I won't be surprised if they don't do it. Now, there's a chance that the New York Giants can run off a couple wins. We already know that this part of the schedule is the last 4 games especially are a little bit weaker. So there's a chance that the New York Giants might get 2 wins on the back end of the schedule. But I want them to do a real assessment of Mike Kafka. I definitely I want them to do a real assessment of Joe Shane, and make the right decision. I guess best way I can say it is they need to make the right decision. I think they need to go ahead and get an entirely new staff in here for sure. Mike Fonte says first we fire Joe Shane, burn them all. Right? Game of Thrones, burn them all. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick break from the Giants. Not really. Cam Scatterbull. We talked about Cam Scatterbull and his record prediction for 2026. Now I want to talk about Cam Scatterbull on WWE. The cameo that he had on WWE. Some people were furious about it. Some people said it's immature for him to put himself in danger like that and put himself in harm's way. You got Giants people defending Cam Scatterbull, especially the WWE, because this happens all the time with actors and celebrities and stuff like that. They make sure they take all the precautions. But you see, man, it was a wild situation. I remember when I saw it, the first thing I thought about when I saw Cam Scatterbull was he feels healthy enough to put himself in the situation. He was in a walking boot. We saw that. So that ankle is stabilized the entire time. So you're not really going to hurt that ankle, but you still don't want somebody to take those chances. How do you guys feel about that, man? Obviously, now that it's over and he's safe, he didn't hurt himself. Hindsight is 2020. What do you guys feel about? Do you think that was a smart choice? Are you indifferent? Do you care? Just let me know what you think about that. Tudo with the $1.99 super chat says, Big Dash, we're 10-4 as we speak. More victims to come. I wish we were 10-4, Tudo. I wish the Giants were 10-4. That's who I wish. That's who I wish was 10-4. I wish we were 10-4. I wish we had double-digit wins, man. Shout out to you, man. Again, congrats to you. The Big Moo with a $2 super chat said, Big Dash, what kind of draft capital do we get? With a top 5 pick? It just depends on how far back you're going. Obviously, if you're in the top 5 and you're trading back, you want to keep a first round pick, but you also probably want a first round in the following draft. First round pick in the following draft. It just depends on how far you go back, though. Now if say it's who has 2 picks? I know the Rams have 2 picks. The Jets have 2 picks. So let's just say the Jets. So say we finished the season. We're in front of the Jets. The Jets are absolutely quarterback hungry, and they need to come up for, say the Jets are picking 6 and we're picking at 2. Right, everything stays the same. I want both. I want both of the picks. I want both of their first round picks if we're giving up that the second overall pick. That's what I want. And I want those 2 picks, and I want something else. Now, if you're already getting 2 first round picks, you're probably not going to get that 2027 first round pick. But if I'm getting both of the first round picks, I'm definitely getting my 3rd round pick back that I traded for Jackson Dart for. I'm definitely getting that one back. So you're getting at least 3 to 4 picks trading out of that number 2 spot, depending on who you're trading back with. So that would be the price for me. You start off with 2 number 2s for sure. But it also depends on how far you're going back. Now, if we're trading back out of the top 10, then I need a lot. I need a lot. I definitely need a first round this year. I need a first round next year, possibly a second round next year as well. It just depends. Now, do we really believe the New York Giants are going to finish with a second overall pick? That would be something. Last year, we almost had the first overall pick, and we ruined that one. But it might have been a blessing in disguise that we ruined that one, because if we were picking number 1, we'd probably take Cam Ward. And this is not a shot at Cam Ward. I'm happy with Jackson Dart. And you guys know how I felt about Jackson Dart going into the draft. I felt like he was a system guy. That Lane Kiffin system, the scheme for the wide receivers, made it super easy for him. And then you found out very quickly, I was wrong, corrected right away, that no, he's not a system quarterback. He's a quarterback that fits a lot of systems, and he got that dog in him. And he also got the it factor. So everything happens for a reason. Just remember how mad we were when we lost that first round pick because we won that game at the end of the season, the Colts game. That's a game that took the number 1 pick from us. It ended up actually being a blessing. We ended up with the 3rd round pick. We ended up getting Abdul Carter and then trading back and getting Jackson Dart. Everything happens for a reason, man. As much as we complain, everything happens for a reason. Hopefully it works out in the end for the New York Giants. Gangstar says we trade down. Gangstar also says Joe Shane is the worst GM. Shane Bowen is the worst DC. We're going nowhere with these two. Can't argue with you. Mike Fonte says Cam Scatterboo is a rookie, and sometimes rookies make mistakes, and he will learn when he becomes a pro. Yeah. Again, I'm happy that he made it out of that situation, healthy, as healthy as he can be, because he's rehabbing. And like I said, to your point, he was having fun. He was having fun. Shout out to my man Tudo. It's another super chat, $4.99 super chat.
I can't help. I need dollar.
I hit the wrong button. He says, Big Dash had a 4-match suspension back in October. Was perfect timing for me to recover. Some injuries, came back much stronger. Hard work always pays off. Now, that's a fact, man. Sometimes things just work out. You think it's bad, and things work out. Like, for example, and I'm curious to see how many people might agree with this. Obviously, we only got Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo, and Malik Neighbors together for what, a quarter and a half, almost a quarter and a half. But I will also say this: not having Malik Neighbors as a crutch for Jackson Dart, he had to operate that entire offense. He had to go through his progressions. He didn't have the crutch of, Malik Neighbors is down there somewhere, I'm just going to chuck the ball down there. Kind of like the play, Malik Neighbors got injured on, even though that was a free play. Short pass, though, but free play. But you got to see him operate with less. Respectfully, I say less. Obviously, you're missing your number 1 wide receiver, but we got a chance to see him operate without that and still be successful, still put up points, still put up yardage. So for me, once you get Malik Neighbors back, it just adds, to what this offense can do, be more explosive. And you have a quarterback who's already done it and can actually has the experience enough to say, if Malik Neighbors is acting like, hey, I need the ball. No, I'll get you the ball when I get you the ball. I understand you're Malik Neighbors, but I've been operating this offense for a while now. And then next year, depending on who we hire, offense might look entirely different as far as the scheme. But you guys let me know, man. Did Jackson Dart not having Malik Neighbors, did that help him with his development? Not having that crutch of Malik Neighbors? Let me know. Salute to my man Bookends in the building. Wales also in the building, says salute Tudo. Congrats on the win. Hey, Wales, man. Give me a fight update, Wales, if you're still in here, man. Give me a fight update. Boxing. Did Devin Haney win? Somebody tell me if Devin Haney won, please. I don't have the stream in here. I got the TV, but I don't got the stream. I'm not paying the zone. No, I'm not paying for the zone. I'm sorry. As many subscriptions as I have, I'm not paying, especially these overpriced prices for boxing. But let me know if Devin Haney won, please. Somebody let me know. Is it Op BO2 Gamer says we need a head coach that plays Madden? No, we don't. I understand what you're saying. I understand, but no, we don't. Shout out to my man OPBO2 Gamers. Is it SJ73777 say, hey Big Dash, I I was at the Denver and Chicago games. They will haunt me forever. Nah, listen, 2 fourth quarter comebacks, man. And obviously the Chicago Bears game was a 1-point game. You still collapsed, but you also had the lead in the fourth quarter. But that Denver game, oh my God, I can't even imagine being in the building for that one. I know you were in the building for that Denver game. You saw those Denver fans leave the building thinking that they lost. Made it to the parking lot thinking that they lost. We're in line to get out and get on the highway thinking that they lost. Get home and find out that they won the game. That's a sick feeling, man. That's a sick feeling. Oh, shout out to Junior, man. I ain't know. Shout out to you, Junior. Shout out to you. Haney won. Did he knock him out? Or was it did it go to decision? It probably went to decision knowing Haney went to decision. Was it close? At least? I don't like Haney that much, man. I don't know why. I don't like Haney that much. Haney won. Thank you, big bro. Did he fight well though? Haney can fight, man. I mean, he's a good fighter, man. I don't know. It's just something about him. Something about him rubs me the wrong way, man. I don't know. As Jay says, yes, it was a very sick feeling. I know it had to be. I know it had to be. Giving up that many points, 30 plus points in a quarter, 9 minutes. It's crazy. I remember watching it, man. I remember watching that game. I had the kids sitting next to me watching that game. We got into the second half. Actually, we got into the fourth quarter. They started leaving. Like, oh, we got this in the bag. We got this in the bag. And sure enough, we didn't have it in the bag. Or it crawled out of the bag. That W crawled out of the bag and walked over to the Denver Broncos side is what it did. Mega Giants 89 says Shane Bowen should have been fired after the Broncos game. 100%. 100%. And Brian Dable holding on to Shane Bowen is what got him fired. Because if he fired Shane Bowen, he probably gets an extra week. If Brian Dable would have fired Shane Bowen after the Chicago game, he might not have gotten fired on Monday. He might have not gotten fired on Monday. I really do believe that. Not saying that it would have prevented it from happening still, but he probably survives a week. He probably is still the head coach in the Green Bay game if he would have fired Bowen, but he didn't. He want to hold on to Bowen. I'm going to ride with my guy when he really even wasn't your guy to begin with. Really wasn't. You were looking at a couple of different defensive coordinators before you settled with Shane Bowen. And you gave him that much rope and ended up hanging yourself with the same rope you gave him. That's crazy when you think about it. Crazy. Unanimous decision? Okay. All right, so he whooped him. Okay. Is Benavidez fighting right now? Is it the main event? I like Benavidez. I think he beats Yardy. I really do. Mike Fanta says, "Hey, Big Dash, do you play Madden NFL?" I do play Madden. I haven't. You know what's crazy though? I haven't played Madden since September. I bought it in August. I think I played it for like 3 weeks. Actually, I'm lying. The last time I played was probably October. But I do play Madden. Game handle is Big Dash 07088 for the people that want to reach out. Go ahead and do that. I don't mind playing. That's the one though. I don't play though, so you might not get a response back, but I might hop on the sticks once the season is over. For sure. I ain't hard to find though. That's a fact. Said Viva Mexico has say, I think Benavidez wins. Mike Fine said, just got it for you. Happy birthday. When was your birthday? Well, happy birthday to you anyway. Nah, man, PS5, brother. I had the Xbox for about 2 years. It was so. Just remember when the PS5 first came out, you couldn't even get one. You would be in the checkout, waiting, and the bots bought them all up. I had to get mine on the resale. Shout out to my brother-in-law, man. Ended up finding an extra PlayStation 5 for us. We couldn't get one to save our lives. He came through. Shout out to my man Cam. Manny Banks said, "What up, Dad? What's going on, Manny? How you doing?" Yeah, you still can play crossplay. That's a fact. Don't even matter. All day. Xbox all day, huh, Kenya? I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. The Crawford experience was good. Xbox is better. We're not gonna get into this argument. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna let y'all have that one. But as far as for me and my household, actually I'm lying because my oldest got the Xbox. My youngest got the Xbox. I'm the only one probably playing PlayStation the most, and I don't be playing like that. Who got pillow hands? You talking about Benavides? Or you talking about Devin Haney with the pillow hands? That make more sense for Devin Haney. Because Benavides can throw him. Shout out to my man Big Lou too, man. G Nation Sports, man. I wonder if he's doing pillow to the face. I didn't check. So Wells, let me know. You guys do you guys doing the show today? The stream for the boxing match? Let me know. Shout out to my man Greg T. Shout out Big Dad. Shout out to you, Greg T. How you doing? Rafe says I'm biased. I like both for their games. Nah, I do too. Benavides about to end it. You know what's crazy too, man? I'm not recommending this to anybody. Obviously, I said I'm not paying for the zone. So obviously, I'll be hopping on the streams. The Old Faithful, the stream that I had, the Old Faithful one wasn't working. I was pissed off about it. So I had to go to another one. And it didn't work the same. I saw the first fight between Mason and Noakes. That was a fantastic fight. But it is what it is. Well said, nah, you don't think so? Okay. I was looking to see if he was going live. I didn't see anything saying scheduled. So I figured he didn't go live. Plus, that fight started, the card started early. Manny Banks says, I heard Canelo and Crawford going to run it back. Yeah, I saw that too in 2026. What about this, though? I saw, and this is outside of New York Giants news, so I do apologize for those that don't talk, any other sports. Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. I finally think that Jake Paul is going to get knocked out. Like, there's no reason why Jake Paul shouldn't get knocked out by Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua gets knocked out by Jake Paul, I'm going to be highly upset. But we already know that Anthony Joshua got a glass chin. So I'll be scared to see it or watch it to see if Jake Paul actually beats Anthony Joshua, which he shouldn't. There should be no reason why he should beat Anthony Joshua, but I don't know. Benavides just ended it. What round was it? Well, you said the fight is bad for Joshua, huh? Jake gonna pay for the knockout? Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, nah, absolutely. It didn't make so. I'd rather see this one. I'd rather see Paul versus Joshua than Tank versus Paul. Tank versus Paul made no sense to me at all. First of all, Jake Paul running around here at 220 pounds. I don't know what Tank Davis was even thinking about. Now, I do think he mops the floor with him no matter what the weight is. But he could probably take some of Tank's punches. Now, we're talking about if Anthony Joshua lands something clean on Jake Paul, it's a wrap. Like, I've seen Jake Paul get hurt. And I'm mad that I'm talking about Jake Paul like he's that, but he's done it. He's made millions of dollars in boxing. He made millions, and he got boxing. He's paying people. He's actually a pretty good promoter too. Outside of that, if I leave my bias to the side, he's a pretty good promoter. He's doing a hell of a lot for women's boxing too. So shout out to Jake Paul for that. He works hard. He takes the craft seriously. I do respect that. But I'm like, somebody should have been knocked him out by now, in my opinion. Guess what? He did the right thing, cherry picking. Like people used to get on Floyd Mayweather. Oh, you cherry picking? No, Jake Paul was cherry picking. He was beating up old retired UFC fighters. And then when he did get some real boxers in there, they went the distance for the most part. But man, I don't know. I'm trying to see him knock. Yeah. Joshua did take. I thought Ngannou beat him. Who just beat Anthony Joshua? I'm tripping. He did beat Ngannou. That's right, he did. All boxers cherry pick. Maybe. Wilder should have knocked it. That's somebody that I don't want to see fight ever again. I don't want to see Wilder fight. It was the saddest thing. I forget when he fought the Asian guy. The Asian guy just pummeled him. And Wilder was never skillful, in my opinion. Deontay Wilder was, shout out to him, an Olympic gold medalist. Can punch through walls for sure. But he was never the most skilled. He was never the most coordinated. He just had bricks for hands. And if he hit you with one of them, you was going to sleep. But man, he jumped in that ring with Fury and actually knocked Fury down. That count was still crazy. And then got whooped. Tyson fight ended it for me. Yeah. Daniel Dubois, that's who it was. Okay. All right. That's who it was. Okay. Thank you. So we're gonna leave the boxing sports to the side a little bit because we can go left for sure. And then we end up talking boxing. I got a couple more topics I wanted to talk about. And I haven't even gotten to the expectations for the game or game breakdown. I mean, we already know what it is when it comes to the New York Giants versus Detroit Lions. You got to play defense. It's a lot of firepower on the Detroit Lions. You got Gibbs. You know what I mean? You got Montgomery. You got friggin' Amon-Ra. You got Jamison Williams. You got, is their tight end hurt? Sam Laporta actually is hurt now too, so he's not playing. I think he got put on IR. But this is just so talented. The offensive line's talented. The defense is talented. Players all over the place. You got Aiden Hutchinson. That's going to be a good matchup to see. Is Aiden Hutchinson versus our tackles. That's going to be a good matchup to see. But even the linebackers on Theo and on Bellinger, I don't like the chances, man. Just like my man Mark said, I don't like our chances against the Detroit Lions. I really don't. Wait a minute. Joseph Wilcox says with the $2 super chat says, why are there 127 people on here? Well, it was, but 3 likes. Hit the like button, please. Again, I don't know. I don't know if everybody knows what the like button does. I know it's just a tab that you can click on, and it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down depending on how you feel about it. But it does a lot for these channels, especially for channels that are up and coming channels. Especially for people that are trying to, to grow, grow their community. That like button is very, very important. And again, it gets more eyes to what we're doing, and shows a lot of love and support. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Joe, for letting the people know to hit the like button. Hit the like button, please. Let's do that. I'll take 65 likes. That's what's up. That's half. I'll take it. Guess what though? Even if I didn't have any likes, I'd still be talking. Because what? Love the New York Giants, even though we losing. Sean Jackson says, Dash, I've always been a boxing fan, and our awful Giants hat was speaking about boxing, shaking my head. True. Because the title of the show is Late Night Giants Talk, and we did go on a boxing tangent, but it was a pretty nice card tonight, though. It was a pretty nice card. I had to say something about it because I didn't watch it. Wells says, I saw you torpedo Geezer's Tudo. What? I don't want any of that smoke. Okay, I missed it. So there's something else going on. Uh, Kawhi says, and our pass rushers, when they play good tackles, tend to disappear. That includes Burns. All right, so we're gonna refocus, right? We're gonna refocus. I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom of the chat. We're gonna get on. We're gonna talk about this Giants versus Lions game. We're gonna do some predictions, and then we're gonna get out of here. Tennessee blanking the Florida. The Florida Gators pissed me off, man. I thought Lagway was gonna be so much better. That coach is getting fired for Florida. Lane Kiffin most likely goes to LSU. I thought he had a chance to go to Florida. That didn't happen. We saw that Franklin is going to be the new coach for Virginia Tech. But yeah, look at me, got sidetracked again. So most likely we won't see Kayvon Thibodeau, right? We won't see Kayvon Thibodeau again. So that means that Abdul Carter is going to get a majority of the snaps on edge. You're not gonna. You might move him from side to side or something like that. I need to see. Wait a minute. When did they fire him? How many weeks ago did he get fired? Florida coach. When did that happen? When did that happen? Desmond Montgomery says, "What's up, Dash? How do you watch Giants game living on the West Coast? I got the YouTube package. I pay for it. That's how I watch these games. For many years. I was on the streams. Like a lot of people when you didn't want to pay for the direct TV. I had, NFL Red Zone. I pay for it. I pay for these games. I gotta see my Giants play. Or before that, I used to go to like Buffalo Wild Wings and watch the game because you knew they had the NFL package. That's what I used to do, especially when I lived in Vegas. That's what I did. First couple of years when I lived in California, that's what I just go to Buffalo Wild Wings. $2 beers, $4 beers, wings, and watch the game. The bad part about it is that for the most part, when I was going to Buffalo Wild Wings, I was watching one of those smaller televisions because Giants were never on the big screen, so I didn't even get the volume, so couldn't even hear none of the play calls. After that, got tired of it, then started paying for. Did the stream first, and then paid for the package once I moved to where I'm at right now. Rafe says I got a site for Freesky. Nah, listen, I did it. I did it for a while. I'm a big fan of the Giants. My wife's a big fan of the Steelers. We just got the package, man. Just got the package. We got it set up on all the TVs so we can watch it in all the rooms. And yeah, that's how I watch the Giants games. For sure. Team Zavala says we getting smoked once again, 40-17. I don't know if they dropped 40. We gotta have some type of pride. If they drop 40, Shane Bowen is he's gonna have to catch the bus back to New Jersey. If the Detroit Lions, because they can easily drop 40 on us, but you gotta have some type of pride. Like these players gotta have some type of pride getting after the quarterback. Like you can get after Goff, man. You can rattle Goff for sure if you can get to him. Like at the end of the day, like Dex is still Dex. We saw last week that he looked better last week. He was getting pressure. He was getting there quick. But at some point in time, these guys gotta look at it themselves in the mirror and be like, nah, not this Sunday. Not this Sunday. My man Wells says Buffalo Wild Wings food is on point though. Brilliant sports food. Yeah, I just did the wings, man. I would the Caribbean jerk, and then the Asian zings. That's my go-to at Buffalo Wild. And it's been a while since I've been to Buffalo Wild Wings. I probably ain't been to Buffalo Wild Wings in like 3 years, to be honest. It's been a while. But my go-to is the Caribbean jerk and the Asian zing. That's my two wing flavors. Sean Jackson's dash was 2016, like the last time the Giants beat the Detroit Lions when Stafford was still playing in Detroit. I know we lost to him in 22. Yeah, because we haven't beaten recently. So 2016 might have been the last time. I can't even go. I don't remember. I'm going to have to Google search that. Somebody ask Siri. They need to shut down Gibbs like we did Saquon first game. I mean, of course. I think Gibbs is a little bit easier to shut down than Saquon Barkley. But Gibbs is just so damn versatile. Yeah, but then you got to worry about Montgomery too. And our problem is just the second level. Like even when we do have the correct alignment out there, even when the defensive line does their job, we saw it in the red zone last week. You got linebackers picking the wrong gaps to go to. I think who was it? Carl Banks had it on. Was talking about it with Bob Papa. You got linebackers just flat out picking the wrong places to go. And again, we're dealing with our fourth and fifth linebacker outside of Bobby Okereke. Again, Micah McFadden gone, Darius Moosau gone, and then you had Swayze Bozeman for a little bit. You had the Nevis guy for a little bit. Now you're dealing with Flanagan Fowles. Like what are we doing? Bad depth, and guys looking horrible out there. Even when the play is right there to be made, we can't make the play. It's crazy. Running back was untouched damn near. And it looked like the defensive line did their assignments. You got a free flow of the linebacker, and Bobby gets caught in the wash, and Flanagan Fowles guessed wrong. I guess a lot of cleaning up the New York Giants have to do. Like, so with Cam Scatterbull saying his prediction for 2026 is 12-5, are you going to play linebacker, Cam Scatterbull? Can you play linebacker, Cam? Can you play linebacker? Because we damn sure need a linebacker, maybe two. Moosau was out for the season, but even when he was out on the field, it felt like he was out for the season. Respectfully, I apologize. I'm just saying. We saw Micah McFadden in the first game make back-to-back plays and then broke his foot. But he was out there balling for a quarter. And then now we got to worry about paying Micah McFadden, which I believe we're going to get a discount because he's hurt. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens. That's what I wanted to talk about. I need y'all participation. A simple yes or no will suffice. And we talking about people that you would re-sign, extend, whatever, right? First name is Jermaine. I'm starting from the beginning. I already know what we talked about this. Jermaine Illuminor, yes or no? Are you re-signing Jermaine Illuminor? If you want to put the amount of years that you want to re-sign him for, go ahead and put that in the chat. But I want everybody's participation. When I say everybody, obviously I would love for everybody, but I know everybody's not going to do it. But Jermaine Illuminor, are you re-signing Jermaine Illuminor? Yes or no? A man, Xavier Anderson. What's going on, Xavier? How you doing? Says yes, 3 years. Joseph Wilcox says yes. Depends on the contract from Wells. See, now I want to know what the money. Let me know what you think, Wells. What's a good price for Illuminor? Kenya says yes, 2 years. Byron Simeon says yes, 2 years. Puma J says yes, 2 to 3 years for sure. OP says yes. Greg T says how much is he gonna hit? You worried about the cap? I'm worried about having bookend tackles for your young quarterback. That's what I'm worried about. He's gonna cost you some money though. It's not gonna be cheap. Now, does he give you a hometown discount? Maybe. Isaac Moore says yes. Rafe says I don't know. What you mean you don't know? Quiz says yes, 3 years, $39 million. Ed Liz says 3-year deal. JDJ says nah. We need Jermaine back in our 5. That's a fact. Young Income says yes, 2 for $30. That sounds about right. That would be a good deal for him. 2 for $30. Would it depend on what the guaranteed money would be? Ed Lid, all I know is cut Gano. Yeah, that should happen. That should happen. Shouldn't be a problem either. H Town says have to keep O-line and coach together as long as we can. They played well. They played well and got better. They did. Carmen Brasillo, no matter who the coach is, no matter what coach we bring in here, if we decided that we want to keep Kafka, we got to keep Carmen Brasillo no matter what, in my opinion. Xavier Anderson says 3 years, $42 million. That's rich. That's rich. I mean, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good deal. What's that? Just under 15, so about 13 million. A little bit over a year. That's a good deal. Godson says yes, 3 years with a 2-year out. Most likely because he is 32 years old. Rafe says he might want more money. I believe they said the top of the right tackle market is almost $20 million. Right now, Jermaine Illuminor is making $7 million. I know we had this discussion last week. I believe it's $7 to $8 million that he's making right now. So if you bump it up to 14, that's 100% raise. I mean, hey, it might get done. Maybe he likes living in New Jersey. We knew he grew up a Giants fan. Maybe he gives us a hometown discount. Maybe not. Don't know. Will says, I don't know, mate. Honestly, I don't get paid to make those decisions. Me neither. But it's fun. Greg T says 3 years, 20 minutes. Okay, all right. So that's Jermaine Illuminor. We're gonna clean this up now. Greg T says he ain't no Penei Sewell. Yeah, he's not, but he's damn good. And this offensive line is the best we've seen in over a decade. See, listen, man, you cheating, side guy, bro. You cheating. That was the next name. The next name is Micah McFadden. Do we re-sign Micah McFadden? Do the injuries bother you? He has not completed a full season, I believe, since he's been here. Maybe his rookie year. He is injured, maybe not often, but he's had his stints where he couldn't play. But for me, I think he's the best linebacker that we have right now. I do believe that he's better than Bobby Okereke right now. And that's crazy, too, because if you told me before the season if he was better, yeah. Xavier Anderson says, nope, give me Leo Chanel. Funny thing is, man, I was heavy on Leo Chanel coming out of college. I thought he was going to be a line because I always thought we needed a linebacker. He was on my list. I got the tweets to prove it. Joseph Wilcox says, for sure. Greg T said we can get him at a discount, talking about Jermaine, re-sign Jermaine from Sean. JDJ says, nah, on McFadden. He misses too many tackles. He has had issues with tackles. He has, but he's always in the right place at the right time. He got to learn how to finish. The magic word, finish. Will says, yeah, just let him go to another team and be good. Same old story. Yeah, we see that all the time. Yes, at a discount. I do believe we get a discount because he's been out the whole year. Obviously, he likes to he's rehabbing. I would assume he wanted to consider rehabbing in the building. I do think you get a friendlier deal with Micah McFadden. I thought you should have got that deal done before the season started. I thought it would have been cheaper, along with Jermaine Illuminor. If you get those deals done in July and August, you probably save a lot of money. But now, who knows? Greg T says 2 years, $8 million for Micah McFadden. That sounds about right. I do believe that Bobby Okereke gets cut. I believe it's too much savings. You save almost $9 million cutting Bobby Okereke. $9 million you save. I think Bobby Okereke is as good as going. Now, Bobby Okereke, if you're watching, I understand you don't want to hear anything like that. It's late in Detroit. Maybe you're asleep already. You seem like you're very disciplined. You might be asleep already, getting ready for the game. But if you happen to be on the live listening, hope you have a good game tomorrow. But I'm just saying, you're making a lot of money, and the New York Giants need money. Maybe you get restructured. Maybe you make the deal a little bit, reasonable for the Giants. But it is what it is. Greg T says 2 years, $8 million. I think that's you did that twice. You got on here twice. JDJ says, who also is in the right place a lot? Deontay Banks. I can't even argue with you. I can't even argue with you because last week against Christian Watson, he was right there. The big move, that's a fact. Wow, Bobby O was great under Wink. Couldn't adjust to Bowen's. Yeah. I thought that was a problem too. And even now, he's still racking up tackles, man. But for me, with Bobby Okereke, like if you look at his tackling, he's productive. It's about the plays that he's missing. That like some of the plays that he's missing are just outrageous, out of line, egregious. And I think that's what it is. So the good plays are still there. He's still making his tackles. It's just the ones that he missed. The plays that he misses are like awful. Greg T says Okereke is gone. We need to draft his replacement or pick one up in free agency. Now Leo Chanel is going to be available. I think with how that Kansas City Chiefs defense is right now, they already got Tranquil. They got Bolton. So Leo Chanel's already fighting for snaps there, but he's in that rotation. You can possibly get Leo Chanel. I can see that happening. Shout out to my man George Boney in the building. He says, what up, Big Jazz? What's going on, George? How you doing? Bookend tackle says maybe Banks needs LASIK to find the ball. Remember that was the thing with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston had to get LASIK because he was throwing a lot of interceptions. And then he come to find out he couldn't see, but he still was throwing interceptions after the LASIK. So was it really, him not being able to see? I don't know. All right. So after McFadden, we're going to go to another name. All right. So if you were going to type in yes or no for McFadden, don't do it. We're going to go to another name. Wan'Dale Robinson. Are you guys re-signing, extending Wan'Dale Robinson? Yes or no? Or if you got something more to say, go ahead and do that. Sir Khan the Wolf says Bowen cost the Giants at least 3 to 4 games. At least 3 games for sure. Dallas, Chicago, Denver for sure. Now, if you want to say that the offense against the Saints, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterable with the turnovers, that game just is what it is. I do think we had a chance to beat the Chiefs too, if we could play some defense. But it is what it is. Side Guy Bra says resign. JJ the King says hell yeah. The Big Moose says yes. Keep Wan'Dale. Greg T says yes. Noah T7F, fantastic name. Yes, but at a discount. What kind of discount are we talking? Wells says keep Wan'Dale. Xavier Anderson says nope, he will be wide receiver 3. We can draft one of those. That is true. That is true. Wells says as a third wide receiver, I think so. Shout out to my man Mark in the building. What's going on, Mark? He says salute to Big Dash. No, salute to you, Mark, man. I was going to say, are you going to the game? But it's in Detroit, so I know you'll be. Hold on, is the Monday night game? Is that back at home? Is that a home game for the Giants against the Patriots? I need to look that up again. I done lost so much track, man. It's crazy. Greg T says if he's reasonable in negotiations, then we resign to Wan'Dale and go look at a wide receiver too. I think the crazy part is this, man. I will gladly give Wan'Dale Darius Slayton's money. But we can't do anything with Darius Slayton's contract. You don't save any money if you cut him. The only time you can save money from Darius Slayton is if you trade him, and then you have a trade partner for Darius Slayton. I don't know. But Wan'Dale Robinson, he'll be cheaper than average wide receivers and stuff like that. I do think he'll be cheaper, but I still think it's going to cost you some money. So you're probably looking at like $11 million per Wan'Dale Robinson, $11 million. And this is the point I'll be making, man. When you don't draft well and you don't have the backups in the building already. Don't have the backups in it. We don't have a backup linebacker for McFadden in the building. We don't have a backup wide receiver for Wan'Dale in the building. And that's crazy. Crazy. I'm just thinking about these last couple of draft class and all of the wide receivers that came out. You don't have we don't have replacements for Evan Neal, Joshua Azudu, Marcus McKeithen. We didn't have a replacement for anybody. We got old ass GVR, Van Roten, which he's doing a good job, but we're going to have to try to find his replacement as well. Maybe that's Marcus Bowe. That might be the only replacement that we really have. But we don't have any depth for real. And that part kills me. Joseph Wilcox says, yes, he's been pretty good this year. He's showing us that he can be more than just the gadget guy. He showed us that I still think his strength is the gadget guy, but he showed us that he can do more than that. Now, we've seen the New York Giants try to target Wan'Dale Robinson down the field. We were successful in the Dallas game. We were able to connect with him. But it is so hard to try to throw a 50-50 ball to Wan'Dale Robinson. He's just limited when it comes to his size. He's just too small. Pause. So he loses a lot of those matchups that somebody else that's a little bit bigger than him possibly wins. So you got to keep that in mind when you re-sign or when you're thinking about re-signing Wan'Dale Robinson. Yes, the wide receiver market is what it is. But are you getting the standard slot wide receiver when you get Wan'Dale Robinson? No, you're more likely getting a gadget guy that has showed some flashes. And I don't think. Let me ask you guys this: you think Wan'Dale Robinson is a type that give you a hometown discount? Just curious. before we get to the next player, and I think you guys can guess who the next player is going to be. But before we get to the next player, is Wan'Dale Robinson, does he seem like the type of guy that gives you a hometown discount? Like at the end of the day, NFL is still a business. As fans, we like to believe that these guys will give you a hometown discount. But at the end, this is the business of football. We know what happens if the team feels like you're no longer, worthy or worth keeping, they will cut you, and your liveliness goes away. So I'm with the players when it comes to this. Don't ask me for no hometown discount. You damn sure not getting no hometown discount for Kayvon Thibodeau. So if I'm Wan'Dale Robinson, you figure you're a second round pick. Yes, you made a little bit of money in NFL standards. The first time you get a chance to get a payday, go get your payday, man. Go get your payday. And to my man Xavier Anderson's point, you can find wide receiver threes in the draft if you draft them well. There'll be a couple of them in this year's draft. I do like Wan'Dale Robinson though. I like what he brings. I like his energy. But again, he's still limited. Patriots game is a away game. Okay. Is that the Pats? Okay. Greg T says Wan'Dale going to want over $10 million a year. His entire 4-year contract was $8 million. Yeah, he's going to be in that $11 million range in my opinion. And I just think that's the market. Xavier Anderson, I understand. I understand, but that's just think about what we gave Darius Slayton. We gave Darius Slayton 2 years, $12 million apiece. Darius Slayton making $12 million, man. And that's coming from somebody that was defending Darius Slayton all summer long about the targets. And I'm not even going to get into it. I'm going to leave it alone. Shout out to my man Kelvin Davis in the building. Said just made it in. What's up, Dash? A lot of things, brother. A lot of things. We talked about a lot of things. We even threw in a little bit of boxing. So you missed out on that. You can go ahead and catch it on the restream. But yeah, we talked ball. We talked about Jackson Dart. I'll give you a mini recap. And for all the other people that were late coming in, talked about Jackson Dart not being available. And is it more than just him not passing concussion protocol? We talked about Jameis Winston and expectation for Jameis Winston. Can he win us a game? 50-50 on that, possibly. Definitely not 50-50 against the Lions. It's more like 90-10, but it is what it is. We talked about elevation. Eric Gray is back. He'll be a running back on the roster tomorrow. He might get a jersey. He might not. What else did we talk about? Thomas Fedoni got put on IR. Cam Scatterboo, WWE. Are we mad? Are we not? That's what we talked about. That's a quick recap. Gonna leave it at that. A Dad's Life says, yo, sorry, I'm late. Another yes on McFadden, 3 years, $15 million. Yes on Robinson, 3 years, $24 million. Yes on Jermaine Illuminor, 3 years, $42 million. No on Bobby O, just too expensive. You save $9 million if you cut Bobby Okereke. And right now, the New York Giants, obviously before the cap gets raised, I think we're roughly about $15 to $16 million, maybe 17. I was just on the over the cap like 3 nights ago. Did that right before I went to sleep. But playing around with cutting people and trading people to see how much cap space we could possibly get. And if you make it's a certain amount of moves that the New York Giants can make, you can get over $50 million in cap space with like maybe 4 or 5 moves. So there's a chance for the New York Giants to create some cap space. And again, when you have your franchise quarterback, who you believe is your franchise quarterback, you got to make some moves. Mike Fandy says we need younger football players for this team. We like the third youngest team. We like the third youngest team in the league, Mike. Now, Greg Van Roten is 36 years old, and Illuminor is 32 years old, but for the most part, we're pretty young. Third youngest team. So there's plenty of youth on this team. We need to get better. We need to get better players, not just younger players, but better players too. Ford Expedition says, thanks a lot, Joe Shane, for no depth. You blockhead. No, it's crazy, man. It really is crazy. It really is crazy that 31 draft picks and the roster is still in the condition that it's in right now. 4 free agency periods, and the roster is in the same place, or is in this place right now. That's inexcusable. So as much as you like Joe Shane for being the GM the year Jackson Dart was drafted, to get Abdul Carter, you like the way Andrew Phillips and Newman played last year, Marcus Bowe. You talk about the Brian Burns contract. Yes, he's done some good things, but there's no reason that we should be in year 4 and still have depth problems. That means you absolutely did not complete your job or do your job. Like, we should at least have a cornerback to replace Flott, because Flott's coming on a contract year. No, we're forced to pay Flott right now, and that's the next person. Great segue. Great segue. Everybody. Cordell Flott. Do you pay Cordell Flott or not? That's the next player. The Big Moose says, thumbs up and subscribe, guys. Let's get Dash to 10,000 subs. Now, that's a fact, man. That was the goal when I started this. Actually, the goal when I started this channel, you guys hear this every time I'm asked this question or every time I bring it up. The goal when I started this channel was 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers. Then it became 500 subscribers. Then it became 1,000 subscribers. And then when I got to 1,000 subscribers, I said, the goal for this channel is to hit 10,000 subscribers, and we are almost there. Almost there. I'm happy about it. Started this channel in 2022. I started the same year we got Joe Shane and Brian Dable. So, and this channel has grown pretty quickly. And again, shout out to everybody for the love and support. You guys did this. It ain't just me. You guys tune in to listen to my crazy ass talk about the Giants. Maybe because you're just as crazy as I am about the Giants. But nah, I appreciate the love and support for sure. Big Moose says Wandell will want Slayton money for sure. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the rate. Is Slayton money. The problem is if Slayton played better, like just think about what some of these wide receivers are making. And like when you really like Justin Jefferson, guys are making $30 million, right? So when you look at Darius Slayton at $12 million, it's really not a lot of money in comparison. But we talking about a guy who we thought was going to be a wide receiver 2, plays more like a wide receiver 3, but this year we're getting wide receiver 4 production from him. So now that $12 million is looking like $20 million, like a waste of money. And then we got to pay him another $12 million next year because his contract is so good on his side. If we cut him, we lose money. I think you only save like $200,000 if you cut Darius Slayton. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'd rather have him than pay him and not have him. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So we stuck. Darius Slayton is here. So you know what? We got to root for him. That's the only thing we can do is root for him. Because he is here. He's going to be here. Wells says Cash Patel needs to look into that contract. Yeah. His shout out to his agent. His agent did a fantastic job. Shout out to my man Corky. Says, love the show. Thank you, Dash. And I appreciate this love and support, Corky, for real. You guys don't understand how much I do love the support from you guys, man. I enjoy these conversations. I enjoy these live streams. You see me in the chat constantly, going back and forth with everybody. Again, I hope that everybody feels like they're heard, through the chat, especially when we throw these comments up and we go back and forth. My man Michael Meenan for 5522 says Tyrone Tracy can take over Wandell's slot routes. Somebody knows football. It's possible. It's possible. They moved him to running back for a reason, though. I think he can do it in a pinch, but that's not the long-term answer. You get another slot receiver in here. Well, actually, how about this? Michael? If you get a true outside X wide receiver, because you already think about Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is an X. Malik Neighbors is a do-it-all wide receiver. Inside out. Slot, backfield motion. He can do it all. If you get a real X outside big body wide receiver, and now you have the freedom to move Malik Neighbors around, and I say it all the time, I hate to give the Dallas Cowboys credit, but the way you see CeeDee Lamb get moved around is exactly what you need to do with Malik Neighbors. And if you have a solid X wide receiver outside, big body wide receiver, it frees up Malik Neighbors to work out of that slot. And if you can get Malik Neighbors working out of that slot primarily, which he did at LSU, that's where he got the majority of his yards at LSU, was out of the slot. Then why you're not even worried about Wan'Dale Robinson at that point. So you know what? When we get to the 2026 draft, go ahead and get me Carnell Tate. You know what I mean? If we're going in the first round, go ahead and get me a Jordan Tyson, who's not just as versatile, but a similar type of player as Malik Neighbors. Can move around, can play all the spots. If we're in the second round, give me somebody like Jacoby Lane. You know, give me somebody like Chris Bell from Louisville. Elijah Surratt from Indiana. It's a bunch of guys that fit that. Denzel Boston from Washington. He's another guy that can play the outside. Big body wide receiver. That's why I wanted to trade for A.D. Mitchell from the Colts. I wanted to trade for A.D. Mitchell because to me he felt like a good, number 2 to Malik Neighbors. But obviously the Jets got him. We didn't get him. And then you don't have to worry about who the slot is going to be because we didn't get a chance to re-sign Wan'Dale, because Malik Neighbors will be that guy all over the place. In motion. Like just think about it right now. We see Wan'Dale Robinson where he's doing so much motion. Instead of that being Wan'Dale Robinson, that's Malik Neighbors. In the slot. Doesn't have to worry about getting pressed, which he pretty much doesn't have an issue with getting pressed. A free runner. Free release, I should say. Not a free runner, but a free release. I'm not even a coach, man, but that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's how you're supposed to be using Malik Neighbors. But no, we just line them up on the outside and try to throw them go balls in a couple of comebacks because we don't throw slants to save our lives. We don't. Some short crossers in the red zone. We're not creative at all. In all honesty, we're not. And that's the part that sucks because you got talent on this team, and you're just not doing it. And I'm sorry, I asked about Cordell Flott, so let me get to some of these answers. Let me get to some of these answers. Mike, what did Mike say? Can the Giants cut Hyatt? He cut himself, man. He couldn't even get on the field like regular. He did get a couple of snaps, but I'm saying you traded up to get him in a third round, and then I'm done fighting for him. Put it that way. I'm just done fighting for him. If he does anything, he does something, and I'll be pleasantly surprised. But for right now, I don't even like talking about Hyatt anymore. And just think about that. Dash, the guy that was defending Hyatt for 2 years, 2 seasons. I gave up. Gangstar says we need a competent coaching staff to develop talent. Yes. We got youth, but coaching can't waste the talent. That's the. See now I'm gonna go off script. Flott, yes. Let's talk about Flott real quick before I get off script again. OP says play Flott Island. That's crazy. Ain't no Flott Island. Flott is getting better though. I like Flott a lot. He's taking the teaching, he's taking the coaching, and he's getting better. Year after year. Sean Jackson says have to re-sign Flott. Are there any top cornerbacks in the 26th draft? There are some, but where we're going to be picking and what we need. We probably won't be in the spot to get them. But there's also guys that are sleepers. There's a kid from Indiana that's pretty good. You got Malik Muhammad from Texas that's pretty good. We got Chandler Davis. He's a little bit smaller though from Duke. He's pretty good. There's some guys in those middle rounds. Takario Davis, you probably get on day 2, maybe early day 4. From Washington, he used to play at Arizona. He's like a 6'2", 6'3", 200-pound cornerback. But I don't want to get caught in the measurables because that's how I got caught up with Deonte Banks. But there's some guys that you can take a flyer on, and flyer sounds crazy. There's some talented guys day 2, early day 3 that are probably good options at cornerback, but not a cornerback 1 though. You're probably not going to. Plus, I'm not going to write off Paulson Adebo yet. Obviously, he's dealing with injuries. Obviously, he dealt with a setback too. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him on IR. They're probably trying to hold off on that because he made it all the way to warm-ups last week, and then he had a setback, and then he didn't practice at all this week. So I think it might be 50-50 that we've seen the last of Paulson Adebo, which would suck too. Um, but he's probably still going to be your cornerback one. We're paying him that type of money, so you almost forced to keep Cordell Flott. But I don't think Cordell Flott is going to cost you a lot of money. I don't think that happens. A Dad's Life says got to keep Flott 3 years, $33 million. Yeah, I'm obviously a fan of 3-year deals with an out after 2. Yeah, you always got to build in that option to get out of there. H Town says draft needs to trade back the top 3 picks, get a King's ransom, add a defensive tackle, linebacker, DB, wide receiver, offensive guard, or I should say center, and a new coaching staff. Most importantly, that's a lot. H Town, that's a lot, and you know it. I know you know it. Dad's Life says 100% on got to get a big body on outside. Been screaming this for 3 years. We don't need another Gary Coleman. It's hilarious. We don't need another Gary Coleman. What you talking about, Willis? Mike Fanta says, "Hey, Big Dash, what if the Giants' record is 18?" Mike, what if the listen? Yeah. It's if it's 18-0, yeah. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. I would, yeah. I need that. I need that one. Pause. Big Moose says, "I hate talking about the draft before Thanksgiving. Just shows how bad we are." Man, I've been talking about the draft last year. Last year was the same around the same time. Year before that, a little bit later. Probably right after Thanksgiving, and then obviously we were in the thick of it in 2022. But nah, I really didn't think we were going to be in the same spot. 2 wins by Thanksgiving. No, I didn't. I didn't see this one coming at all. I didn't see this one coming at all. Didn't want to believe it. Didn't want to believe it. Some of you guys saw it though. Some people said we'd be lucky if we get 3 wins, and I thought you guys were crazy. And now I'm sitting here like we'll be lucky if we get 3 wins. No one Flott from JJ says no one Flott. I think you got to keep Flott. Just think about it. You don't sign Flott with the expectation for him being a starter. I mean, I'll be honest, and hopefully he understands that too. Now he might say I'm a starter. You might be a starter for the New York Giants, but you're not a starter like in the NFL. Respectfully, now you can possibly be that, but what we've seen right now, you're a solid backup. You're a guy that people believe in to come in and make some plays. Like you do that. I think right now you're playing like the best corner on the squad for sure. You're playing better than Paulson Adebo. But are you really like a CB1? No. So when he knows that, and then hopefully his ask reflects that. Banks and Hyde, LOL. I don't listen. Yep. Big Moose says Adebo and Holland are both disappointments. Yeah. And Holland's been healthier than Adebo. There is an explanation of what happened, and that's Shane Bowen. But Holland should be better. Adebo again dealing with injuries. Newman should be better. He ended up looking worse. Tay Banks looks horrible. It's crazy how horrible Tay Banks looks. But come on, man. But Adebo and Holland, I thought we would be a lot better than what they are right now, for real. Kenyon says Caleb Downs in the first round. I'm not 100% against it. I'll say this. So I was sleeping on Caleb Downs. I was sleeping on Caleb Downs because I always thought he was good. I thought he was a good safety. Not this game. The game before last. I forget who they were playing. He was everywhere. That was my first time like really sitting down because I've watched Arvell Reese. I've watched Sonny. What's his name? Sonny Styles. I watched Sonny Styles, the linebackers for Ohio State, but I really didn't like. I knew Caleb Downs was nice, but because we had Newman already, we just got Holland. I really wasn't paying attention to him. But he just, if you watch an Ohio State game especially on defense, He is all over the place. He's making he against the run, against the pass. Caleb Downs is nice, and he's an automatic starter too. As soon as you draft him, no matter what the team is, no matter who the team is, I think day one Caleb Downs is a top 5 safety the first day he steps on the field in the NFL. I really do believe that. He's that nice, and that his instincts, his football IQ is through the roof. And I wasn't trying to give him credit either because, again, I was like, man, there's no way that we draft another safety, especially this high. But no, he is absolutely worthy of a top 5 pick. He probably won't go in the top 5 because you're going to have these quarterbacks squeeze in. But Caleb Downs definitely not. He won't last after the top 10 though. That's for sure. Greg T says Sonny Styles impresses me. The one thing I like about Sonny Styles the most is when he went to Ohio State, he was a safety. So he has that side-to-side speed, just like Aurel Reese does. But he has that safety background. He's, like I said, bigger body safety, and it just helps him as a linebacker. So Sonny Styles is on my list of linebackers. The crazy thing is he's rising on the boards. So before I was thinking like, man, you know what? You get Carnell Tate in the first, and maybe Sonny Styles is there at like 33 or 34. 34. Well, depending on where we pick him, maybe he's there when we pick in the second round. But it's looking like Sonny Styles might go. But also, he's a linebacker, and once you start adding those quarterbacks, everybody starts sliding. And then also, when the combine happens, somebody's going to run a 4.2, and move up to. Somebody's going to jump a 12-foot long jump, and then like Shamar Stewart did, and then they're going to get drafted high, and then they're going to push some players back. So. But Sonny Styles is on my short list too for linebackers. I like Whit Weeks from LSU. I like Rodriguez from Texas Tech a lot too. Jacob Rodriguez. He's a sleeper. He's a sleeper. He's not a sleeper when it comes to college football because the stats are through the roof. But when it comes to the NFL, Jacob Rodriguez is pretty good too. Texas Tech linebacker. You guys look that guy up. He's nice. Manny Banks says Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson for me. Not mad at that. Isaac Moore, that's a great point. Why are we signing guys who are hurt and compromised? Because we don't have depth. And there's no guarantee that the guys on the open market will come here. Because we don't have that type of money. So you got to look at some of these guys and bring them back. That's it. And it shouldn't be that way. Again, when you look at these other teams that are really good, they lose players every year, and they already have a replacement ready waiting for them. Philadelphia Eagles, perfect example. They lost Kelsey. They had 2 centers. 2 centers that they could have went to take over. They had their choice of which guy was going to be the center and which guy was going to be the guard. Because they draft well. Better than us. If the Eagles lose edges right now, they still got 2 more left. Like it's crazy. They lost who's the guy they lost last year? They lost Milton. Was it Milton? The defensive tackle that they lost didn't even matter. They already got the replacement that they drafted 2 drafts ago, just waiting to go. He's getting quality rotational reps, waiting for his opportunity to step in because we couldn't pay somebody to go. And we don't have that. That's and bad GM. Greg T says Rodriguez is a football player and he's a Hispanic that will play in NYC real well. He's also married. I think he got kids too. Now shout out to Jacob Rodriguez. He can play. Good instincts too. Good instincts. He's not going to run a 4.5 40. He's not going to do that. But you know what he's going to do? He's going to be there to make the tackle because that's what he does. Good ball instincts. I forget how many interceptions he got this year. I think he just had a pick 6 last week. Almost pick 6. But he can play. Very instinctual. I like Whit Weeks too from LSU. He's dealing with an injury right now. Him and his brother both play linebacker. His brother actually stepped in for him last week. I didn't watch the LSU game today, so I don't know if he played today. But yeah, I just like Jacob Rodriguez more than that. I like the kid from Kansas State too. Austin Romaine, he's pretty good too. But I like Jacob Rodriguez because I think where we're picking at like 140 something, we're going to be in that 140 to 150 range in the 5th round. Is that the 5th round? I think that's the 5th round. Yeah, around that range in the 5th round, I think Jacob Rodriguez will be right there. I think he'll be there unless he goes to the combine and balls out, then he might go early. Or if there's another smart GM somewhere else and saying, you know what, we got a need at linebacker. This guy looks good, and they pick him up before the Giants get a chance to. That could happen. But nah, Jacob Rodriguez is that type of person. I said, Gangstar said, and we need a decent kicker. Give me Young Hoku or Young Waku. Until he proves that he's terrible, just give me him. Pause. I'll take that. Let me save $4 million by cutting Graham Gano. I'm going to pay Koo about $1.5 million for a 1 year deal. Let him earn his spot. I'm not going to give any more kickers long-term deals unless Koo kicks us out of the building, which may happen, may not happen. But that's it. Here you go, Simeon. You just was talking about him last week. I didn't get a chance to look him up. Actually, let me write that down. I'm gonna put that in my phone right now because you was just talking about Eric Hunter in the last stream. I'm gonna put that in my notes so I can look him up. Pardon me for a second. Eric Hunter. And you say he goes to Morgan State. I remember that's what you said, Morgan State. Correct me if I'm wrong. Morgan State, right? For Eric Hunter. I think that's what you said, right? Simeon, Morgan State. Stephen Bloom, Landon Barton. That's another one. I'm curious to see how fast he runs. He's solid, though. He's definitely solid. Greg T says, Whit Weeks is a wild boy. He's got that scatterboo energy. Yeah. It is Morgan State, right? Yep, okay. All right. I had a friend that went to Morgan State, man. Shout out to my man Winston. He went to Morgan State. Gangsta says just to pick a random player from European soccer team and we good. Or get somebody off of the what's it called now? Is it the UFL, the USFL, whatever it's called? Get the best kicker out of there. If the freaking Dallas Cowboys can do it, then we should be able to do it. Didn't the San Fran drafted a kicker 2 years ago, and they ended up cutting him. Yeah, I think it was San Fran. San Fran drafted one, and they ended up just getting cut. If I'm not mistaken, he got cut this year. But yeah, there's still some people that draft kickers. Who was it? Somebody draft? Was it the Bills? The Bills drafted a punter a few years ago. What's his name? Punt God. Then he ended up getting the charges dropped and, almost ruined his NFL career. But then the charges got dropped. So. Was it the Raiders? It was the Raiders that drafted him? I thought it was the Bills. Because I think he's on the Chiefs now. I thought the Bills drafted him. Who's Seabass? Oh, Sebastian Janikowski. Okay, I got you now. I'm thinking you're talking about this year. Sebastian Janikowski. I think I might have been still in high school when Sebastian Janikowski was Florida State. I think he came out of Florida State. I was still in high school when Sebastian Janikowski got drafted. Yeah, he came out of Florida State. I remember him. Yeah, I was still in high school when he got drafted. That's a long time ago. Sebastian Janikowski, Florida State. That's a fact. It was the Bills. He says they were talking about the Polish Hammer. Okay, but nah, Punk God. That's what the guy that the Bills drafted him. Then he had charges, and then he got cut, or got his contract dissolved or whatever they call it. And then once the charges got dropped, he came back, and then the Chiefs got him. He's been on the Chiefs ever since. Greg T says Janikowski went to Florida State. Now that's a fact. Ariza, that's his name. Punk God, Ariza. Yep. Let me tell you something, man. I've been watching football for so long. There's so many names stuck in my head right now. I'm happy that I still remember some of these people and where they came from. It's crazy. Greg T says J.K. Scott got drafted by the Packers from Bama. Yep. So you guys know, man. You guys just as crazy as I am when it comes to this football thing. That's why we up all hours of the night talking about the New York Giants, even though our record is 2-9. We still in here doing our thing like we 9-2. All right. So we done hit the 2-hour mark. We're gonna get to these predictions. Really didn't break down the game. Here's my breakdown. Here's my keys to victory for the New York Giants. The keys to victory for the New York Giants is before they leave the locker room, everybody holds hands. You got Jameis Winston and you got Russell Wilson. They're going to lead the team in prayer. They're going to ask God to be with them against the Detroit Lions. And if it be thy will, the New York Giants beat the Detroit Lions. But if not, that's the only chance the New York Giants got, in my opinion. But let's get to some of these predictions. Simeon says, if we were 9-2, we all be sleeping. You know what? This show would be an hour long instead of 2 hours long if the New York Giants were 9-2. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Luann says, Dash, hang out another half hour. I ain't got it. You see the gray hairs? I ain't got it. Listen. It's 2 hours. I'll be sleeping 45 minutes. That's the type of time I'm on. I'll be sleeping 45 minutes. As soon as I end this stream, I probably got 45 minutes before I'm asleep. That's just how I am right now. I get my sleep. I wake up at like 5:30 every morning. And I lay in the bed for like a half an hour before I even get up. I'm an old man. I ain't that old, but I'm old. Greg T says Lions 33, Giants 20. Isaac, that's hilarious. I predict a moral victory. If that moral victory is the defense held the Lions to 14 points, but we still lost because it was 14-13, that would be an absolute moral victory. I mean, hey. Xavier Anderson says, I have a question for you. Do you re-sign Belton? I would re-sign Belton as a backup safety because I think in a backup role, he has some value. The price got to be super friendly, though. Super friendly. I'm talking like $4 million. Now, does he play for $4 million? I don't know. I got to give him a little bit more than vet minimum because he's still a young guy. So it is what it is. My man Kelvin said, I just turned 47. I go to sleep, Kev. Kelvin, I go to sleep. It's Saturday night. I remember. I'm going to go down memory lane, though. I remember when the night got started at 10 or 11 o'clock. That's when the night, your plan started at 11 o'clock. Somebody would call your phone at 9 o'clock, say, hey, man, we going out. You know, when we going out? 11 o'clock. And you'd be like, yeah. I'm in the house at 11 in the morning. I do my errands early in the morning. If I got to go to the store, it's early in the morning. I don't know the last time I was out that late. Probably when I was picking my car up from California, driving it back here when I moved out here. That's the only last time I've been up that late. And I used to work nights in Vegas when I lived in Vegas. Sleep is valuable. Gangstar says 21-21. Nah, that's funny. Luann says Giants 24-21. I hope so, Luann. I hope so. I would love that. Damn, too early? That's what you said? Nah, not for me. And you figure I'm Mountain Standard Time right now. So it's still pretty early compared to y'all, man. What's 11 o'clock over there? It's 11 o'clock over there. Now, I won't be sleeping 45 minutes, but I'll definitely be in the bed in 45 minutes. For sure. Tyrone says another belt to ass coming up. Yeah, it seems like it. Seems like it. Manny says Lions 55. 55 points. They dropped 55 points. Shane Bowen is done. Toast. Finished. A dad's life said about to hit 46. My ass off the bed at 9 unless I'm waiting for. That's shout out to you. Shout out to the people that are in their pajamas right now watching me. And enjoying this conversation that we're having. Shout out to y'all. Both Joshes. I feel that dash 11 p.m. That's a fact. Ian Campbell says 34-24 Giants. I love it. Simeon says 30-10 Detroit. Man, listen. I'm right behind y'all. My birthday is in March. I'll be 43. You know what I mean? I enjoy my rest. I deserve this label of Unc that some of the younger people they call me Unc. I used to feel disrespected when somebody called me Unc. Nah, I embrace it. I had a lot of friends that didn't live this long. Not even half as long. So I appreciate waking up in the morning. I thank God every morning. For sure. Ian Campbell's, I meant Lions, my bad. So we can't even get a hypothetical win. Nah, I'm messing with you. Ford Expedition says March 13th, here going on 46. Now, that's a fact, March 22nd for me. My whole family born in March for the most part. My mom, my dad, rest in peace to my pops. 2 of my sisters. Yep, all born in March. Bunch of Aries and Pisces. Greg T says, yeah, I'm Unc status now. Listen, embrace it. Embrace it, man. Embrace it for sure. But, man, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We're going to close this thing down. We hit the 2-hour mark. Actually, over 2 hours. Good luck to everybody. Hopefully everybody has a good night, man. Good luck to the Giants tomorrow. I mean, after everything is said and done, even though I don't feel like the New York Giants are going to pull off a victory tomorrow, I'm damn sure going to be rooting for a victory. I want to see Jameis go for 250, 3 touchdowns. I want to see Tyrone Tracy go for 100 on the ground. I want to see Devin Singletary get 50 on the ground and a touchdown. I want to see these guys succeed, man. I want to see a win for Mike Kafka. And not because I want Mike Kafka as the head coach, but he was dealing with the same thing we were dealing with, and that was Brian Dable. Now, some things are his fault as well because he was the OC. He has his hand all over this team as well. But at the end of the day, we already know who was driving the ship, and the driver wasn't shit. Pardon my French. March 24th, I'll be 63. Shout out to you. That's my sister's birthday, March 24th. That's actually a cousin's birthday, too, of mine. March 24th. We actually were born in the same hospital. A dad's life said, good night, unks. Good night, unks and the aunties out there. And shout out to the future aunts and aunties. Aunts. Oh, Lord, I'm going to bed. Good luck to the future aunts and uncles as well. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.